You ever seen a lion chasing a squirrel? No. And you know why? Because lions don't waste time on what don't feed them. Now let me ask you, why are you chasing every setup like it's gold? You see one candle move, and suddenly bam, you're in. No plan, no patience, just click, click, hope. I've been doing this for 40 years. 40. I've sat across from kids who made 100K in 1 week and vanished the next. They thought they were special, different, above the rules, like the market owed them something. But the market owes you nothing, not a single dollar. And if you're walking in thinking you're better than the 99%, then let me tell you this, son. Prove it, because I've buried more egos than I've seen profits. Heck, the cemetery's full of I got this traders, guys who read 2 books, watched 3 YouTube videos, and started calling themselves wolves. But they weren't wolves, they were puppies, trading with feelings, trading with fear, trading like they were rushing to win a game that don't even have a clock. You think you're different? Okay, then show me how you think differently, not how fast you can press a button. Real traders, they journal, they wait, they stalk the market like hunters, but 99%, they chase, they guess, and when it fails, they blame the strategy, the broker, the candle. It's never them. That's why they fail. So I ask you again, what makes you think you're better than them? And if your answer sounds like confidence, be careful, because confidence in trading without proof, that's just another word for delusion. Let me tell you something they don't print in books. Trading is boring. Yep, flat out boring. The successful ones, they sit, they wait, they drink their coffee and miss trades on purpose. But you treat trading like a video game. Like every chart is a joystick you gotta move. You press buttons just to feel alive. If the screen's not flashing, you feel like you're doing nothing. And that right there is why most traders lose. You know how real money is made? In silence, in discipline, in the part of the chart where nothing is happening. Ever seen a crocodile hunt? It floats still for hours. One twitch, one mistake by its prey, then strike. That's how real traders move. But most of you're running through the swamp yelling, where's the setup? Where's the move? And by the time you think you caught something, you're the one being hunted. You know how many traders I've coached who blew up accounts just because they couldn't sit still. They didn't lose to the market. They lost to time. They couldn't bear the quiet, the waiting. That's the test, the silence. Can you hold your nerve when there's no noise? Can you hold your discipline when nothing's moving? 99% can't. They force trades. They create action because their brain is addicted to chaos. So again, I ask, what makes you think you're better? If you can't sit through boredom, you'll never survive the storm. This game is mental, not just money. And if you treat trading like a circus, then don't be shocked when you end up the clown. Let me tell you a secret. The traders who make it, they lose better than you. Yeah, you heard me right. They lose. And they lose a lot. But the way they lose, it's surgical, precise, clean. You take a loss and turn it into a tantrum. One red candle, and suddenly your keyboard's got teeth marks. You revenge trade, double down. You say, I'll get it back. That phrase killed more traders than bad entries ever did. See, losing is a part of this game. Like breathing, it's not the loss that ruins you, it's how you react to it. I've sat next to traders who've taken 4 losses in a row and never flinched. They just nod, journal it, adjust. But you, 1 L, and your whole identity collapses. You start questioning the market, your strategy, your worth as a human. You spiral. You ever seen a firefighter panic when something catches fire? No, because he expects it. It's part of the job. Real traders expect losses. They built a mindset for it. They respect risk. They don't chase. The 1% aren't fearless. They're just trained to respond, not react. That's where you're losing, not on the chart, in your head. You see a red trade, they see data. You see failure, they see feedback. So I ask you again, what makes you think you're better than the 99%? If you can't learn to lose well, you'll never win big. Your edge, it's not in your strategy. It's in your emotional recovery time. Let me tell you a story. There was this kid, young, maybe 19, thought he was the next Soros, bought a course, watched YouTube videos, opened a funded account in 2 weeks. First month, he flipped 10K into 24K. All in, no stop loss, pure luck. He thought he cracked the code, called himself the market whisperer on Instagram. Second month, blew the entire account, gone, every cent. Want to know what he said to me? He goes, "Bro, the market's just unfair. Unfair. The market owes you nothing. No apology, no refund, no second chances. You think you're going to outsmart something that's been running longer than you've been alive? You think you're different because your chart looks clean and you drew a few lines? Come on, man. Trading ain't about how much you can make. It's about how long you can stay in the game. Longevity. Most of you are sprinting in a marathon. No plan, no patience, no clue. You over-leverage like the market owes you profit. You hop from system to system every week like a headless chicken. RSI didn't work? Try Fibonacci. FVG didn't work? Maybe smart money. You don't even stick long enough to suck at one thing. That's your problem. You want wins without walking through the fire. The traders who survive, they're boring, quiet. They take the same setup, day in, day out, no hype, no hero trades, just process. So I ask again, what makes you think you're better than the 99%? You think this is a video game? You don't get to respawn here. You either learn to treat this like a business, or the market will teach you like a lesson. And trust me, it doesn't teach gently. You know what separates the ones who make it from the ones who vanish. It's not strategy, it's not indicators, it's not even psychology. It's emotional control in boredom. Most of you can handle chaos. You can lose 4 trades in a row and still come back, but you can't sit through silence. You can't wait for your setup. You can't be still. You treat trading like fast food. Give me the setup. Give me the entry. Give me the dopamine. But the best traders, they hunt like lions. They watch. They wait. They don't pounce on everything that moves. You chase candles like a cat chases laser dots. You jump in because it feels like it'll go up. You exit because it looked like it was reversing. That's not trading. That's gambling with extra steps. Let me tell you about Roman. He was one of my clients back in the early 2000s. He took only 3 trades a month. That's it. Sometimes just 1. He used to say, "I'm not here to trade. I'm here to get paid." You hear that? There's a difference. You're addicted to pressing buttons. You're chasing movement. You want action, not outcomes. Roman, he was patient. He had a list. If the market didn't meet his criteria, he walked away. That man made 6 figures in a year, calm, silent, boring. While the others, they blew 3 accounts trying to trade every bounce. So again, I ask you, what makes you think you're better than the 99%? You're scared to miss out. But the real fear should be wasting years chasing every candle and never learning how to wait. Let's get real about one thing. You don't actually know what you're risking. You say, "I'm risking 1% per trade," but what you're really risking is your confidence, your time, your belief in yourself. And that's dangerous, because after 4 losses, you don't just lose money, you lose control. You stop trusting the plan. You change things mid-trade. You make decisions based on pain. You know what I've seen destroy more traders than anything else. Revenge improvement. Trying to fix the plan while you're emotional. Like repairing a parachute mid-fall. You tweak the entry rule. You shift the stop loss. You add an indicator, then another. Suddenly, it's not your system anymore. It's a Frankenstein of fear and confusion. You didn't trade your plan. You traded your emotions. Let me tell you, I once mentored a guy named Theo. Brilliant mind. He built a working edge in 3 months, backtested it for 10 years of data. But guess what? He quit after 6 weeks. Not because it didn't work, but because he couldn't trust it through the losing streaks. He said, I felt like I was doing something wrong, but he wasn't. He was just human. You want to be better than the 99%? Then stop trying to feel good all the time. Stop looking for constant confirmation and start acting on conviction, not comfort. If your plan is sound, stick with it through discomfort. That's the bridge between losing and profitable. Every trader says they're disciplined until the trade punches them in the gut. Then they abandon everything. But the elite, they feel that pain and stay in the fire. That's how they win. Not by avoiding risk, but by respecting it. And you want to win? Then build a plan that works. And when it hurts, don't touch it. Let me tell you about the graveyard. No, not the one with stones and flowers. I mean the TradingView graveyard, where all the abandoned systems are buried. The RSI scalping strategy, the Fibonacci confluence, the perfect SMC setup, all dead. You ever notice how every struggling trader says the same thing? This strategy used to work. Used to. Buddy, strategies don't stop working. People stop working the strategy. I've watched this for decades. Trader builds a decent method, backtests a few charts, takes 3 trades live, loses 2, then throws the whole thing away. Gone, buried, right next to 500 other systems he never stuck to. You think the 1% have some secret? Nope, they just commit. They marry their process. They don't float with every indicator that looks pretty on a YouTube video. Let me be blunt. If you can't stick to one approach for more than a month, you're not a trader. You're just lost in a loop. And the market, it eats people like that alive. I mentored a guy once, Lucas. Quiet, didn't talk much, but he had something rare. He didn't care about being right. He just followed his model. Win or lose, he tracked everything. 6 months in, he was still trading the exact same way. Was he rich yet? No, but he was consistent. And that's when I knew he'd survive. He wasn't hopping systems. He wasn't rewriting his plan after every bad trade. He respected the boring work. Because trading is boring, kid. The 1%, they don't chase excitement. They chase repetition. So ask yourself, when was the last time you stayed loyal to one system for 90 days straight? If the answer is never, then don't tell me you're different from the 99%. You're just another tombstone in the TradingView graveyard. You want to know the fastest way to blow your account? Trade your mood. Yup, sounds dumb. But I've seen it ruin more traders than any bad strategy ever did. Let me explain. You wake up late, you're angry, miss breakfast, Wi-Fi's laggy, and boom, now you're forcing a setup that isn't even clean. Why? Because your feelings are louder than your edge. One guy I coached, Raj, he was smart enough to pass evaluations, made 8% in a week, but he had a problem. His emotions ran the show. Lost a trade, he'd revenge trade. Won a trade, he'd over-leverage the next one. Up and down, like a circus, and no strategy survives a circus. You think you're better than the 90, then prove it by mastering your emotional state, not by finding the next sniper entry, not by watching 3 more psychology videos, but by sitting still and doing nothing when your mind is messy. Listen, sometimes the best trade of the day is no trade. I once had a trader ask me, "How do you control your emotions?" I told him, I don't. I just don't give them the keyboard. You feel scared? Cool. Still follow your plan. You feel excited? Nice. Still stick to your risk. Because emotions aren't the enemy. Acting on them is. You want to rise above the 99%? Then stop treating trading like therapy. It's not a place to release your stress. It's not a place to fix your bad day. Trading is cold. Trading is mechanical. Trading is war. And war doesn't care how you feel. You think the 99% fail because they're dumb. Nah, they fail because they keep chasing perfection. You want every trade to be clean. You want every candle to respect your bias. You want the market to make you feel smart. But guess what? This game ain't about feeling smart. It's about staying alive. I knew this one guy. Name was Kenny. Sharp dude. Real sharp. He backtested a system for 6 months straight. Had spreadsheets, screenshots, color codes, the whole thing. but he couldn't take a single live trade without panicking. Want to know why? Because he wanted certainty in a game of probability. He thought his prep would protect him from losses. Nope, he got slapped by reality. See, the 1% don't win because they never lose. They win because they don't flinch when losses show up. Most traders, they need the trade to work, just to feel like they're good enough. But trading don't care about your self-worth. It doesn't validate you. It exposes you. Want to know what separates you from the 99%? It's not your entry, not your broker, not your indicators. It's your response when the market says no. Can you stay calm? Can you reset? Can you follow the plan even after 3 red days? Or do you start tweaking stuff, chasing confirmation, changing strategies, because you can't afford to lose again? If that's you, you're not trading, you're reacting, like 99% of them. This game is simple, but it ain't easy. Let go of the need to be perfect. Hold tight to your process. Then maybe, just maybe, you'll earn your way out of the 99%. You ever seen a lion hunt? It don't chase everything. It waits, still, quiet, then boom, one strike, precise, done. That's how the 1% trade. But you want to click every candle. You want dopamine, not discipline. That's not hunting. That's being prey. Let me tell you this. The 99% don't fail because they're unlucky. They fail because they can't sit still. They open 5 pairs, flip time frames, ask strangers online, should I buy or sell? Man, you trust a YouTube comment more than your own plan? You think you're better than the 99%? Then stop acting like them. Learn how to be bored. Yes, bored. This game rewards boredom. It's not about action. It's about precision. The best traders I've seen, they take 2 trades a week. That's it. And they milk it. But it took them years to build that patience. You're trying to get rich in 3 months, on a phone, with no sleep, and too much caffeine. Stop. Slow down. Zoom out. Get serious. Build something boring that works. That's what makes you better. Not signals. Not flashy setups. Not trading every day. But mastering the urge to do what doesn't need to be done. That's the difference. That's the edge. And if you don't learn that, you'll just be another screen-glued dreamer, burnt out, broke, and blaming the market for your own noise. You want to beat the 99%, then act like you're already the 1%, silent, sharp, selective, like a lion, not a lost puppy chasing every bark. That's your way out. Let me know when you're ready for the next brutal truth. I've got more. Plenty more.